So, Elden Ring is a very difficult game, like bad relationship difficult. So I thought it would be a good idea to challenge myself to see if I could beat Elden Ring with 0 deaths. That's right, you heard me right, 0 deaths. I've done so much in Elden Ring, I'm actually starting to get a little bit bored of it. Not like full on bored, because I will be playing it again, but I feel like I should just take a little bit of a break. But I decided to do this one big finale where I can challenge myself to play the game and finish it through and through without dying a single time. Can it be done? Is it possible to beat Elden Ring with 0 deaths? I guess in this video, we're gonna have to find out. Just a quick disclaimer, a lot of what I did in this video was actually inspired by PewDiePie's video where he did Elden Ring, or he played through Elden Ring with 0 deaths. So I feel like I wanted to kind of re-represent that to see if I could do it with my own rules. Just so you guys know, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to slap that subscribe button and hit the like button, hit the like button if you did enjoy this video, or don't, because I have a very big stuttering issue. Why must you fail me so? That's a good explanation. Good. That being said, please enjoy the video. So starting out, I decided to go with the Samurai class as it had the best for its strength as well as its dexterity, which I certainly needed for this run. All right, brand new adventure, let's get it. So starting out, you have to defeat the grafted Scion. Most people don't usually defeat him. One thing I actually found out is if you let him defeat you, it won't show you died, meaning that this run is still very much alive. I just thought it'd be a good idea to, warm up with some of my moves for this run because I will be needing it later on. At this point, I just let him kill me. First, we grab the Grace, where Melina will then talk to us and give us Torrent. So the reason I decided to head back towards the Grace that I actually missed was because I wanted to pass the time. The reason for that was because there is one of those big black knights that go on the bridge during the nighttime. So because I'm so underleveled, I decided that it was just a good idea to change it to daytime so I didn't have to deal with them. All right, Smithing Stone. Oh, I missed it. Smithing Stone 1. Let's get it. We're already off to a great start. So we then want to go down this one tunnel at the ruin by the dragon. The reason we want to do that is because there's this chest there that will actually transport us to Caelid. I ended up missing my timing and almost died right off the bat. So I ended up heading down the hill to the left to pick up this Rotten Stray Ash. I never used it in this video. I planned on using it, but I never got the chance to, so I had to sit out this Grace quickly because one of those Rotten Strays were coming after me. I then wanted to go down into this ruin right beside the swamp for 2 reasons, actually. One, the meteorite staff, and another, a meteorite skill, or spell, whatever you want to call it. So right here is the rock sling, and right here is the meteorite staff. I really only need it for 1 boss, and that's specifically to get the Moon Veil. We then want to head into Gale Tunnel. The reason for that is actually for 2 reasons. One, for a golden pickle foot, as well as the Moon Veil itself. Well, actually 3 reasons, but I'll get to that in a second. So as we climb down here, you'll find a Summerstone 2, which is something that we'll definitely need later on. Honestly, I don't care what anybody says. This is one of the hardest dungeons to me, and yeah, you can't convince me otherwise. It's just, as soon as you get the gold pickled foot, everybody is on you. Like, you're just being surrounded, so you just gotta completely focus on the game and just go through it all. See, like, right there, I almost died. Once you get around here, you're pretty much safe. Like, they will still chase you, but you can easily outrun them. See, like, right there, like, you saw my head shake. I was done. Kinda sucks that I'm gonna be coming back to this place. We then want to step outside, down the mountain, to the Third Church of America, where we can get a sacred tear, but also, more importantly, the wondrous physics drink. I ended up doing a little bit of leveling, but then I also headed down south so that I could get one of the Dectus medallions. I believe this one was the left half. You can find this Blood Knight or something. I'm not too sure if it's lightning or blood. I think it's blood. All I know is he's very overpowered, very underleveled to fight him, so I decided to just run. All right, Dectus Medallion left. That's perfect. Now on to the right one. I decided just to peace out there. I didn't want to have to go through all that again. So before I got the other half of that medallion, I decided to get some extra, runes, just so I can get a little bit more powerful, bring up my stats, whatnot. Because you remember that pickled foot that I mentioned that I got in that one cave? Yeah, we're gonna need that. I think the biggest issue with killing this paralyzed dragon is how long it actually takes. Like, he's a ridiculously high vigored boss. Boss? I don't know about boss. He just kind of sits there and takes it. So I came to this bridge because I needed to face off with one of those black knights because he actually drops a very important skill that I'm going to need. So there's this very risky trick that you can do where you have to stand at the side of the bridge and let him jump off the cliff, and then you'll just you'll get his skill, you'll get his runes, whatever. I just had to wait a very, very long time for him to actually come around and notice me, right? All right, finally he sees me. Now get over here and give me a good old kiss. Problem is with this guy is he's extraordinarily powerful, so if I don't have my shield up, he can get me one shot. However, flippin' guy kept going back on the bridge, and that's just not where I wanted him. Okay, finally he's back in place. Literally last second, I forgot that I didn't have my shield out and I was gonna die because I was already low health, as you guys can see anyways. It's just, oh, that was just such good timing. All right, Bloodhound Step, that's exactly what we wanted. All right, so we're back in Gale Tunnel now because now I feel ready to defeat the boss to get the Moon Veil. I don't think I was able to get the utilize the Moon Veil just yet because I was still a little underleveled. However, I still wanted to get it just in case. I remember I used to struggle with this boss so often, but this rock sling really helps. I wasn't doing too much damage just because I was still quite underleveled, but the staggers that it caused really, really helped. See, there's one right now. I completely abused the staggers because that actually gave me a chance to either get a couple more hits in or just take a flask of Cerulean Tears just so that I can get my mana back up. I actually found out that there's like 4 different versions of this guy, which is kind of surprising. Apparently this one's the easiest. Almost got hit right there. I find to defeat bosses like this, you really have to dance with them in order to win. Like, one thing I've always wondered about this game is how do you understand the mechanics of each and every boss? And the quick answer to that is bosses really have their own individual flow. And if you follow that flow correctly, obviously you're going to win. However, if you mess up, like if you accidentally get yourself staggered or whatever, that can really, really mess you up later on. As soon as the stagger happened, I knew I had this boss. And there we go, Moonveil. Alright, now we're on to Mount Foroth, and the reason I wanted to come here was one for the other half of the Dectus Medallion, but I also wanted to come here because there is a talisman that I can't really use yet, but it increases all of our stats by 5, which I think is very, very helpful. Alright, and right here is the other half of the Dectus Medallion. Now on to the talisman. These rats here do so much damage in this area, it's ridiculous. Be sure to dodge Amber Heard right here. And now we get the heck out. Next, I wanted to pick up Summerstone 8 and 9, which are very, very important. It's going to make my Moonveil very powerful. Next, I was traveling all the way to Lurania of the Lakes because, well, I need a couple other Summerstones as well as a few more items. Whoa, language. I actually need to talk to her because she'll actually give me access to Volcano Manor, where I can actually get a couple more Summerstones. I then want to pick up this Academy key because I will be needing it for the boss there. Don't mind the dragon, he's kind of slow actually. Another sacred tier. Gotta be very careful with the Summerstone because there's a lot of those bat creatures just scattered everywhere and they can surround you so easily. Another easy peasy lemon squeezy Summerstone right here, served to you hot and fresh. Now, because we have that Dectus medallion, we can now access the Dectus lift to the Altus Plateau. What did PewDiePie call this lady? Posture lady? I really like that. This is where the Bloodhound Step is going to be coming very much in handy. Mainly because I'm just going to, like, you know, surf the waves. You know, just living the dream. So I see a lot of speedrunners, like, you know, jumping down, and then they swing their sword. I did a little research, and apparently it negates fall damage. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, like, I mean, it's working, so there we go. All right, Somber Smithing Stone 6. That's a lot of S sounds. Goodness, that was a tongue twister for me. At this point, I was extremely low on health, so I really had to be careful. Just, this is such a dangerous area, so I didn't want to take any chances. At this point, I'm deciding whether I should just, like, restart, get my health back, or if I should just try my luck and pass by this guy, because I know he's really, really strong. If he hits me once, I'm dead. Yeah, no sweat. I'm good at this game. Now, I remember in my practice run, I tried doing this jump so many times. I remember trying for about an hour and a half, somewhere around there, and I was so happy that I got it in my first try. I was super focused at this point. My adrenaline was running so high. So at the Altus Plateau, there is this one area with 2 tree sentinels. I found it very easy just to pass right by them if you just go straight down the middle. And they usually don't follow you. Sometimes they will, but in this case, no. 2 free golden seeds. Don't mind if I do. And 2 more, because why not? So in this rune here, I have my final, well, pretty much final Somber Smithing Stone, so that's pretty good to see. All right, fully upgraded Moonveil, except for the Somber Ancient Dragonstone, but we'll get to that. Now, to get the gold pickled foul feet from Patches that I actually killed a little earlier. All right, now it's time for the actual boss battles. I'm actually quite excited to finally get that done. It's actually crazy to me how easy it is to defeat Margaret, because I know that a lot of people have struggled. I mean, I've struggled on it in the past, but with this Moonveil, man alive, does it make you powerful. All right, Margaret down. Now on to Godric. And now we have a talisman pouch, so that now we can use Radagon's charm. But first, I wanted to pick up the Rotten Breath from the Dragon Communion, because I'm going to need that later. I find Godric to be just as easy. The only issue is some of his attacks are kind of surprising to me. Like, I mean, things could be going smoothly either way, but as soon as he throws, like, his wind ability or whatever, uses his dragon ability, it really starts to kick it up a notch. I mean, I've died so many times from Godric. I've actually died more times than Margaret, and you know what? Like, because I have this trusty Moonveil, it was actually quite easy for me. All right, easy peasy. Next up here is the Red Wolf of Radagon. He's how can I say this? He's very quick, but he's also very weak for magic damage. So I found him to be quite a simple mini-boss. The only problem I really have with this guy is he has some pretty crazy and wild attacks, and it can throw me off quite a bit. But like I said, very weak, as you guys can see. The Moonveil very much helps with that. And down. I find getting up this area is quite a bit of a nuisance, but once you've played it enough times, you'll know exactly where the ball rolls. Then we have this one knight that we know pretty much nothing about. I don't know if he has any storyline or whatnot, but we gotta kill him anyways, so here we are. Actually, you know what? If you guys have any information on this guy, please let me know down in the comments below. Quite an easy NPC fight, but can be pretty unpredictable. Easy. I find Ranallo to be quite a bit of a fun boss. I find it's a little annoying with all those other, you know, like librarians or whatever scholars you want to call them. It's a little bit annoying, but all in all, it's a pretty easy fight. I think her second phase is a lot more annoying, mainly because of all the summons that she goes through with. And every time you try to go hit her like once or twice, she always backs up and then summons something like a dragon or a giant. It makes it very difficult, but we ended up getting through it just perfectly fine. Like, she's making sure right now that you just don't touch her. Like, it's as simple as that. But, man, is it a fun boss. Very beautiful cinematics. And she releases the Bloodhound. I find these things so flippin' annoying. I find that these ones, like, their attacks are a lot slower with Ranallo compared to the ones that are just on the overworld. So the reason I'm doing that side swipe is so that so I can just get multiple of the wolves at the exact same time, pretty much. And she brought a dragon. I decided to just keep my distance here. Like, I mean, the dragons aren't hard. It's like they can catch you off guard very easily, though, I find. Like, I thought I dodged that correctly, but apparently not, and I was really thinking, oh, is this the end of the run? I'm gonna die from a Ranallo, one of the weakest bosses in the game. This fight goes on for about 2 or 3 more minutes, so I decided to just cut it and show you guys that that I defeated her. So there you go. Okay, now onto a more fun mini boss, the Royal Tree Sentinel. I absolutely love this fight. As soon as I started fighting him, I just knew how he was gonna attack. I just knew his flow. It's a bit of a dance, to be honest, but it's very easy to learn. So basically, you just want to spit in his face with the Rotten Breath so that he gets Crimson Rot. Makes it a lot easier. I could most likely do it without it, but I don't know. I think it'd be a little bit more fun this way. Dodging his attacks, most of his attacks are quite easy. I mean, it is Elden Ring, so you can't always be safe. Some people make mistakes. That's just how it is. You overcome those mistakes, and that's how you win the game. His second phase really gives me chills, man. Like, it's amazing. Like, I mean, at first, it's quite difficult to get used to, especially the one on the bridge for Malakith, just because it's like a more narrow area. But the lightning dodges are a lot of fun, but it takes a lot of practice, I find. The best way to figure out when to dodge that lightning strike is when his shield goes as low as it can go. You just jump or you just dodge just at that moment, and you should be fine. So it's at around this point here where I noticed that the Crimson Rot effect has worn off. So now it's just a matter of me getting the hits correctly. Absolutely clean. Now we gotta just do this really high skill looking jump here. Very well done. Now this archer is actually very easy to dodge. You just kind of have to zigzag around him until you get to the wing. You just climb up there. Just run past this guy. He won't even notice you. So now we're on to a much easier version of Godfrey, the very first Elden Lord, I should say. Sorry. I'm guessing the developers put him there just so that you have a bit of a practice run, I guess, for the actual Godfrey fight later on in the game. And I feel like I wasn't like truly optimized to fight Godfrey at that point, just because like I kept messing up some of the swings. I feel like Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, like spirit version, if you will, is a lot harder, is because it's such a lower tempo than the actual Godfrey fight. So I'm optimized for the regular Godfrey fight, but this one, like, I don't know, I kept messing up. I tried to take it slow the best I can, and in the end, we ended up winning. So you guys are gonna hate me for this, but there's actually this cheese that that you can do with the Morgot fight. If you use his shackle, which you actually get from patches, you can kind of, I guess, like freeze him in place for the first half of the fight. I also decided to bring in Melina just because they're my rules, and I'm trying to make it as easy as I can, as fast as I can. So just before he gets to his half HP, I like to use that rotten breath that I got before, just so that I don't know, makes it a little easier. Like, to me, he's not too different from Margaret, even though technically it's the same person, just in different forms. He does have some really wild attacks that are very, very difficult to dodge, so that's why I decided to do this cheese. Morgot's spear attack can be quite annoying, but I find that if you dodge it a little later than you think, you usually can get it. Spears seem to be his favorite because he's swinging, he's friggin' jabbing, like he's just relentless with the spears. Oh, big surprise, there it is again. And there we go, Morgot gone. Then we do this jump again. It's just so I don't have to go through an entire area just for one, like, you know, just to, I don't know, it makes it faster. Part of my stutter. And a fire talisman for the fire giant later on. I absolutely hate this area. There's just so much going on. It's one of those ones where you know that you've died there before, and so it's seen as we're trying to do a zero death run. It makes it extraordinarily difficult to keep your focus on the game and not on the other enemies that are around you, right? It's very important to kill this guy because he has such flashy armor. He has some really crazy attacks, but if you can keep hitting him where he can't even release any of them, then yeah, he's pretty easy. We're gonna need this bubble tier for the final boss, but if you take a look here, I almost died. I got so lucky here. Now on to my absolute favorite boss in the entire game, the Fire Giant. He can be quite difficult at times, mainly because he has some really unexpected swings and attacks, but I've played this game well enough to know his attacks, so there's nothing he can do to me that will really affect me, to be honest. I think the biggest thing you really have to watch out for are those big fireballs that slowly crawl towards you, because those things can do a lot of damage. They can really pack a punch. What is it? This guy has like, what, 40,000 HP, so it does take a while. It is a bit of a grind to defeat him, but his movesets are pretty slow. But again, you got to be careful because they can be pretty unpredictable. All right, and now we're on to the second half of the fight. I tried going for something where I could use the Crimson Rot on him, but I kind of messed that up, so I had to stick towards just swinging my sword towards him, or at him, whatever. Sorry, did I call it Crimson Rot? Sorry about that. Scarlet Rot is what I meant to say. These fireballs can easily be the death of you. Just one of those can be one shot if your health is low enough. My plan now is mainly just to keep inflicting damage until I inflict some bleed damage on him, just so I had a chance to defeat him. Because I was getting a little worried here. For this next round of swings, I actually wanted to go for his arm, just because I know that that's one of the weak points, inflicting a little bit of extra damage. This fight was going on and on and on, and I eventually ended up getting some bleed damage on him, so I knew that I had this boss after witnessing that. Not to mention, I also got a stagger on him at the same time, so I was pretty confident that I got this fight. Job done. At this point, I knew that this run was getting real. I haven't died this far, and I feel like the biggest roadblock is going to be Malakith for me. My biggest plan here was using the Bloodhound Step to just slide through the entire area. I didn't even concern myself with any of the like items or anything, because there's nothing I really needed at this point. So yeah. Okay, now this is a fight that I know I've struggled on before. The Godskin duo. Yeah. There's something. Luckily, I had a plan. First off, I wanted to have an NPC just so that I can get a little bit of help with this, because I want to make this easier. As long as I get through it, I'm totally fine with it. Another thing that I wanted to do is use sleep arrows to the Godskin duo and to inflict sleep with them. Makes it a lot easier, I find. I don't know, with these bosses in particular, I find that I can't really get the dodge correctly. I don't know. Like, they're very unnatural when it comes to their swings and their jabs. So I don't know. Now, because I have the Moon Veil, I found that the best tactic is trying to keep my distance with them. Especially when they get to their half point. When, say, like this, the skinny Godskin, whatever his, the Godskin Apostle, he has this, this half time, or this half point where he, like, stretches into a long spaghetti noodle, pretty much, and can reach you from great distances. So it's always good to keep your distance with these guys. I can kind of say the same thing with most bosses, just trying to keep your distance from them, until you have that opening to get an attack in. I should have just done a regular swing right there instead of inflicting that much damage on myself. It's that jab in particular. I can't dodge it. I always get hit by that one. But for whatever reason, he got stuck, so I'm thankful for that. The other Godskin's back. Oh boy. Time to pull out my bow again, I guess. Now, for whatever reason, once you inflict sleep on one of them, if you keep trying to do that, as long as like someone else is attacking them, the sleep won't really be affected onto the enemy, which is weird because like, I mean, it's sleep buildup, correct? So now that I thought about it, I should have used the sleep arrow on the skinny Godskin, not the big one that my NPC friend was attacking. That slam isn't too hard to dodge. It's the rolling that really screws me up. Good, I got him back to sleep. In this instance, I probably should have just committed to the stagger like finisher. But yeah, I felt like I didn't have enough time, so I just used my mana for this one. At this point, I realize I have no more flasks whatsoever, so it's do or die at this point. Very clean stagger. Gosh, I hate that transition so much. Like, why is it he, like, rolls, but then stops, takes a couple swings, and then just rolls again? Like, the animation just doesn't fit. I don't know. And that'll do it. I'm just gonna pass right by this Crucible Knight. No need to fight him. Bloodhound Step really coming in clutch here, because this is a really crazy area. And now we got our final Somber Ancient Dragonstone. Let's go! Really clean dodge. Now it's just Malakith I have to deal with. Like I said, this is going to be my biggest roadblock, and this is going to determine if the run continues or not. Because Godfrey and the Elden Beast, all that, they're not that bad. They're not that bad at all. It's Malakith that I really have issues with. However, we're not allowed to quit out at this point. We're too far ahead to give up now. There was this one friend of mine that told me the best way to defeat him in his second phase is to stay underneath his legs, because apparently he can't even hit you there. Obviously he's going to back away, but if you can get in that area, then he's pretty simple. However, for the first phase, because he pretty much charges right at you the entire time, you just want to back away and wait for that opening. In this instance here, like, I almost died, like, right off the bat. And I'm just like, okay, this is kind of disappointing here. But I was able to recover, no problem, and really get the hang of it. Except for the fact that I kept missing my shots, like, every single time. Like, it was just like, bro, like, I don't know if I'm gonna have the, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough mana for the second phase, honestly. And I came pretty close. I ended up recovering and getting it done, so we're good. We're good here. I think my biggest fear with this fight is whenever he's behind the pillar or I go behind a pillar, the auto lock, like, just kind of goes away. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta wait for him to appear so I can re-lock onto him, and yeah, it makes it it makes it tough. Makes it absolutely terrifying, to be honest, because sometimes the auto lock won't trigger, and it will make me look in front of where I'm looking, where my character is looking. So it makes it a lot tougher for the fight. So I try to avoid that the best I can. Actually, one thing I've noticed about PewDiePie's videos, now that I'm thinking about it, is he goes based off of timing for each boss. I go for more of the safety side. If I don't feel safe committing to a certain, like, attack or whatever, I won't go for it. What I typically do is I'll wait until he throws, like, a big boulder at me, or he goes to do that jab at me, and I just kind of go based off that. Like, I like timing it a different way than, say, PewDiePie does. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on to phase 2. This is where it gets real. Now, starting out, I like to hide behind the pillar, because he always does this crazy, like, multi-swing attack. But as long as you're behind this pillar, there's a good chance that he won't even hit you at all, and it will give you time to, like, you know, like heal or use your mana, or just prepare, like, for the fight itself, you know. Oh, that's just rude. The guy just drags me across with his butt. Now, obviously here, I'm not going to commit to fighting him in this area, just because it's such a narrow spot. I need as much space as possible. Not gonna lie, I really wasn't expecting this attack in this instance, but here's the thing. Malakith is a very unpredictable boss fight, so it could be a regular, like, jab or a swing, and other times it could just be this really crazy multi-hit swing. It's just like, okay, all right. I find this attack pretty easy to dodge if you're up close to him. I absolutely love this attack because it actually gives me a chance to kind of go behind him and just get a couple free swings. Dodged a little too early. This could kill me. Once your health is a bit low, the best thing to do is just kind of keep your distance a little bit. Try to get into his blind spots, right? I got so incredibly lucky with that hit. The only reason I hit him is because it hit him in the arm. Like, look how excited I am that I actually defeated him first try. That is insane. Not really too much to say about this fight. It's Sir Gideon on Ofnir the All-Knowing is what his name is. It's a really big name, very big time. There is no way possible that I'm going to be losing against Sir Gideon after defeating Malakith for the first time. I have to win this. Now, here's the real big issue with Sir Gideon. He has this one ability, I think it's called the law of some, I can't remember, but it's a skill where, like, if someone hits you enough times, you'll just, like, it'll cause an explosion around him. It won't hurt him, but it will certainly hurt me. So the best thing to do is just keep my distance. Here's the thing, most of his attacks are quite easy to dodge, but if it does hit you, man alive, does it ever pack a punch. And the deed is done. Next up is Godfrey, and oh boy, he's a fun fight for sure. But yeah, he's more of a, like, one of those dance bosses where you kind of have to go in the flow of where they're hitting and how they're hitting. Usually I'll kind of wait until he does one of the 1-2s or the 1-2-3 kind of swings before I can actually get a little bit of damage off him. There's other attacks where I find he's just way too quick to recover to a point where I can't really hit him. I just kind of dodge and wait for those 1-2s. Right here, I decided to back away just so I had that time to heal. Luckily, at that moment, he decided to use his really big attack for his first phase, so it wasn't too bad. Now, it's about right here where I really start getting into the flow of his swings and attacks. Kind of had to warm up a little bit, kind of practice with him here, and you know, we ended up getting it. We're back in the flow. I remember when I first fought this guy, his little stomp attack is ridiculously hard. It was very hard for me to dodge. It would get me every single time, but now, like, oh my goodness, I'm a pro at it. Another thing that I've actually realized is that if he's coming after me and I need that time to, like, use my FP or whatever to heal, sometimes I just have to commit with that flow until I get that chance to heal, right? Because if I try to heal while he's just kind of standing there, he'll notice that I healed. His AI is so advanced that he'll notice that I went to go heal, so he'll dodge, or he'll like boost up to me and then do one of those stomps, and he'll usually get me, like right there. And then, because whenever he does this attack, it really gives me that chance to use multiple flasks at a time, just because of how delayed his recovery time is. Not gonna lie, I find this part of the phase way easier than when he starts out. I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I find it easier. It's at this point when I realized that I didn't get hit a single time for the rest of this fight, which is actually quite incredible. Like that's how focused I was here. On like the first phase of this side of the Elden Lord, that little stomp that he did, it was very different from the first time. So for this second time, you will have to dodge, because it will still like shake the entire arena, causing damage. So yeah, you got to dodge that. I figured I'd just do 2 light attacks right here, just because I wanted to conserve as much mana as I could for second phase. For this attack, there's really no use like trying to dodge it. It's just best to run out of the way, because even then it will still give you enough time to use a flask, or use like your wondrous physics or whatever. Now I think the biggest window for me to actually go for an attack is whenever he does that roar, where to a point where I can pretty much just attack him at a distance, right? Like, it's still risky because he can still charge at you like what he just did. Sometimes he'll do that roar, but then he'll also do like that multi-swing attack, and it's ridiculous. It's so hard to get out of that. Same with when he does this attack. So I found out with this little bit here, if you do a little swing at the right time, you can dodge that second blast. I could have done like 3 swings if I wanted to. The only problem was I didn't have enough mana, so I could only commit to 1. Big problem with this guy is that you always want to make sure that you're keeping distance. You never want to be up close to this guy, because that can screw you up in the end. I mean, like, you just don't have any other choice but to keep your distance until you have that like window of opportunity, because he's always up in your face, right? It's just I just gotta wait for that roar in order to attack. Like it only happens once in a blue moon, because it's just the longest like period where he's not moving or like constantly attacking you. It was after this swing I kind of knew I had the boss, so. All I really had to do is wait for him to show up, and then I just get him with one more swing, and then he was done. Not an easy fight, but very, very fun. Now it's just Radagon and the Elden Beast. Now here's the thing with this fight. I didn't feel very confident with the fight itself, so I decided to hire some buddies, some random people on the vast internet, right? So I don't know. I feel like that was a good decision for me. Now right away, these guys were doing a crazy ton of damage, and I'm like, okay, I think we're winning this. All right. I don't want to be saying that yet, because there's still that possibility. That's what was going on in my mind here. I find whenever I have those thoughts, like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna win this 100%. That's usually what screws up with me, or screws me up in the end. This guy's just being bullied at this point. For a lot of people, this attack is really crazy, but for me, like, I've been able to just get it. I don't know, like, I've almost never gotten hit by this attack. All right, Radagon down. Now it's just to the Elden Beast. This is what determines if I win or not, if I beat the game, 0 deaths. It's most of the swings I find are quite easy to dodge. It's some of his special abilities that really screw with me. We were getting very lucky with these swings because he wasn't just moving away like he usually does. He just kept swinging, so we were able to chip his health way past health or half before he was even able to get to his half point. We got really close here, but he ended up pretty much swimming away. Now, it was around this point where he just kept moving around, so we couldn't really reach him until the very end here. Earlier, I ended up getting the bubble tier, and this is exactly why I got it. It's for this reason. It wasn't going for me. Unfortunately, because I kind of wanted to see what would happen if I used the bubble tier and have that chase me, but hey, you know what? This guy over here, he took one for the team. And there we go. Elden Beast down. Man, I look so hype and so relieved that that was over. And there we go. That's the Elden Beast down. That's the entire game, 0 deaths. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a lot of practice, for sure. A lot of trial and error, but we finally got it, and I am very happy that I did. It's a huge achievement for me to do, to actually go forth and achieve. I probably won't be playing Elden Ring for quite some time. I probably won't be making any more videos based on Elden Ring. I might move on to some other forms of content. We'll see what happens, more reviews. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that sub button and leave a like on the video for more content like this. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.